We're back with another episode of the Cart Barn. Our guest is Tyler Watts. Before we get into Tyler, Chris, it's starting to turn cold. The weather, the leaves have fallen. The weather is cooler. The wind's blowing a little bit. The courses aren't probably in as pristine of condition going forward until next spring as they usually are. What's some of the stuff you do in the winter? To play, how often do you play? Do you have a temperature that you absolutely won't play in? What are your thoughts about all that?
Well, contrary to popular belief, I don't play an awful lot of golf, really, even in the summer. Certainly not as much as I would like. But to answer your question, it doesn't get too hot for me, but it does get too cold. Somewhere in the 50, maybe a little bit below 50, but that's really about as cold as I like for it to be for me
Yeah,
to go play.
I'm kind of about 45 with no wind is about what I'll play in sunny.
Yeah.
45 and cloudy and windy is not very much fun. 45 sunny, it's manageable. I think I lower my expectations too, score wise. The ball's not going as far, and just the conditions aren't quite as good as peak of the
Yeah, well,
summer.
the ball doesn't go as far anytime anymore. But anyway, that's for another discussion. Um, Not a lot going on, as you say, in the world of golf. Certainly in Alabama, I know that the Alabama Golf Association just had their 100-hole hike this week, and again, we've talked about that on the podcast. But it's raising money for junior golf, and I think it's one of the great initiatives that those guys are involved with.
Yeah, I can't say enough about how nice it was to see that the Alabama Golf Association embraced the Youth on Course initiative and have gotten behind it because it is so good. And one thing I think you can't emphasize enough about it also is that if you're a junior player and you are a member of Youth on Course, other states have the same initiatives and you can find a course. So like if you're on vacation somewhere, you can still play for the reduced rates. And it's just a great deal. And I
Mhm.
think if you aren't aware of it, you really need to educate yourself about it because it's really good. The trail, RTJ Golf Trail, participates in it and several other courses around the state. So it's kind of a thing junior golfers really should embrace. And I know their parents would enjoy not having to pay full rate for a lot of the rounds of the other kids. So
Yeah.
it's a good initiative. If you don't know about it, you can go to the Alabama Golf Association website and learn about it, or just Google Youth on Course and you can find out all about it.
Yeah. Well, today we have a real treat for you on the Cart Barn. Most people who play golf in the state have heard the name Tyler Watts. And no, I'm not talking about the one who played football at Alabama and now does color on the radio broadcast. I'm talking about a 16-year-old who lives in Huntsville, who plays out of Valley Hill. He made the finals earlier this year at the U.S. Junior. Tyler's also the number 2 ranked player in the Rolex AJGA rankings. He's the youngest player to ever win the Alabama Amateur, I think, at age 15. He's also currently ranked 82nd in the World Amateur Golf Rankings with 4 wins, 12 top 10s in 26 events. Lastly, Tyler, having been named to the U.S. team, played in the Junior President's Cup in Canada just a few weeks ago and has committed to play golf for the Tennessee Volunteers. So let's get into this week's podcast with Tyler Watts. Today we're joined by Tyler Watts from Welcome to the Cart Barn podcast.
Thank you.
Good to have you on, Tyler. Lot going on in your world right now. So, do you want to just dive in and tell us a little bit about committing to Tennessee and what went into that process?
Yeah, it really wasn't a hard decision for me. I felt like Tennessee felt like a home for me, and I really like the coaches, and I'm thankful that I'm going to have some really great teammates too.
Is it easier to say yes than it is to say no to everybody else that's recruiting you?
A lot easier. A lot easier to say yes. Saying no is definitely the hardest part. You don't want to. It For me, I felt like saying no to people who were giving me a chance and believed in me was just something that was really hard to do. And I was just super appreciative that everybody that gave me a chance and stuff like that. So
Who all did it come down to? The top two or three?
my final three schools that I decided between was Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn.
Well, I don't think you could have gone wrong with either one of those three for
Yes, sir.
sure.
Yeah.
I know when you're going through the process, you how many people were asking you daily, when are you going to decide who is it, and how hard is it to say I don't know, and just kind of what's that like when your friends are asking you and everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had people asking me a lot. And pretty often. But I mean, truthfully, I answered just like, I don't know. I mean, I personally didn't know when I was going to commit, even myself, because things change and, stuff is happening. People are committing and people are going on visits and all this kind of stuff. So I really had no idea when I was going to commit. And so I was just, I'm thankful that I got it out of the way and I feel like I made a really good decision.
When I know Alabama took you through their new facility down there, that's like parking a Lamborghini out there in front. What was that like going through that facility? Because it's like state of the art in every way possible.
Yeah, Alabama has a great facility. And all the guys that are going to be going there are going to be getting a lot better because of their facility. And it was really new, and all the grass wasn't fully grown in yet, but you could tell it's going to be really really good.
Do when you're looking at a school, the quality of courses you'll get to play at that school, how much does that play a part in the recruiting process?
It definitely plays a factor. I think when you're trying to qualify for the team, you want to be able to play on a good golf course, so you feel like if you play well, you're going to be on the travel squad or whatever. So I think that's very important. Yeah.
The quality of courses, I know Holston Hills up there, is that a course you guys get to play, and what are some of the others up around Knoxville?
Yes, sir. So we'll play Holston. We'll play Fox Den. We'll play Tennessee National, and we'll play Cherokee.
That's
So
They're at the training facility and whatnot. Is it 9 holes there or just a few holes?
it's just a few holes. You get two par fours, par three, and it's just a big property out by the
Mhm.
river, very beautiful, and it's just a practice facility. You can do whatever you want.
Besides golf, do you know what you're going to major in up there?
No idea. I'm there to play golf.
Come on now, your parents are going to want to hear you say, "Yeah, I'm going to study a little bit too, man."
I don't know. I think they're okay with me playing golf, but no. Hopefully, I can find something I like and definitely get a degree out of it. That would be awesome.
We're going to take us back to when you first started playing. What is it about golf, maybe that over other sports that kind of attracted you to the game?
Um, I don't know. I don't have like a very cool story of how I got into it. I think I really was just like maybe my dad was chipping in the backyard and I got a stick and acted like I was doing it, and he got me a little set of mini clubs or whatever and started lining up the golf balls in the front yard, and I would just hit them. And so, I mean, I just really kind of liked hitting the ball, I guess, when I was really little. Um, but I don't really have like a really cool story of how I got into it. I don't really know how I got into it, to be honest.
You're left-handed, or you play left-handed. Do you do everything left-handed, or
So I don't actually. I do everything right-handed. The only thing I do left-handed is play golf. So
so? How did that come about?
no idea. Really, I think my best like assumption for it would be my dad was chipping in the backyard and I like was mirroring him. And so that's the only reason why I feel like I might be left-handed.
That's the same story that Phil Mickelson has. He's right-handed in everything except playing golf, and that was kind of, I think, how he got started playing golf left-handed was kind of mirroring his dad. So that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Could you play right-handed? Have you tried playing right-handed?
I don't want to brag on myself, but I think I can play pretty well right-handed.
Not that you're ever in situations where you need to hit shots right-handed, but it comes in handy, right?
Yeah, I've been there before, that's for sure.
Did,
Yeah.
did you play Little League baseball or anything, or has it just always been golf for you?
I used to play basketball when I was little, and that was well, I mean, I guess when I was really little, I used to play soccer and t-ball and all the things. But once I got a little older, the only two sports that I played was basketball and golf. And um, injured my knee playing basketball, and it just kind of was something where I was like, "Hey, this might not be for me." And I was like really undersized and small, so
Mhm.
I was kind of, and I was really good at golf at the time, and I loved it, and I loved playing. So I was like, "Hey, this is something that I really want to do."
Well, that's pretty cool. When have you always played out at Valley Hill, or do you play other places earlier
I
on?
have.
Or
Yeah, I've only played at Valley Hill my whole life. I love it. The
yeah,
memories out there are great, and it's so much fun.
it's a great club for sure. So, when did you do you remember when you first broke 70?
Mm.
About
In a I think I remember in a tournament. I think I was 10.
hmm.
10 or yeah, I think I was 10. Yeah.
That's, I mean, I was 10. I was playing tennis when I was 10. I wasn't playing golf. So that doesn't even come into my realm of imagination there, Tyler.
Well, and then you won the state amateur and were 15.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that week, where it was, and kind of how everything happened.
Yeah. Well, first I wish I could still putt like that. That was a unbelievable week. No, that was down at Mobile Country Club. I have to give a shout out to the members because the members there were unbelievable, and just supported me throughout the whole week. And I think they were supportive of what was going on. Like I think everybody knew about Gordon Sargent's record and stuff, so a lot of people were cheering me on. But um, I was playing some really good golf, like going into the state am, and I didn't have really any high expectations or anything. My goal going into it actually was just to make the cut so I could play Joel Creek next year, and then happened to put together like two really good first rounds, and I think I had a pretty big lead going into the third. And I was really nervous during the third round. I remember that one. I don't really know why I was so nervous during the third round instead of the final, but I just remember being super nervous during the third round. But
Hmm.
put together another really good round and had a pretty big cushion going in the final day. So I was pretty calm going in the final day, actually. So played some decent golf on the final day. I tried to let it get away, but we got it done. So
What when you're 15 and you're playing against guys who are in college, top ranked players, how were you able to kind of balance out the nerves to just focus on what you had to do?
I think that week I really prepared myself well in my practice rounds and stuff, and I love the greens a lot out there, and just the course itself. Like I was having a lot of fun just playing the course. It was a really good course, and so when I was going into my rounds every day, I was just really excited to go and play. And so I don't really think that maybe I wasn't nervous more than maybe I was excited. To be honest with you, like I was just really excited to go and play because the course was so good.
How much
Hmm.
does playing at like the high level AJGA tournaments help you in that process?
100%. I mean, it's getting harder and harder to win nowadays, just because the level of competition in junior golf is unbelievable. And I mean, everybody's really good now. It's so I mean the AJGAs, if you're trying to win, on the junior golf circuit, it's really hard. And so if you can, find a way to win, you're definitely going to be prepared going into higher level events.
Well, I know that I had mentioned to you when we were getting this set up that Stuart Sink's been on with us a couple of times, and Greg and I have known him since he was a young man. And he had mentioned meeting you at the President's Cup. And so you were on the Junior President's Cup team this year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about that experience and who all you played with, where you played, and a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was definitely the most fun I've had this year in a tournament. Just we had 12 guys, and we were all best friends, and went up there to Canada, played together, played practice rounds. Just a lot of fun, And we played well in the competition. I think we won 15-9, I believe was the final tally. And then next day we went to the practice rounds for the President's Cup, and we all got to walk inside the ropes with all the players and stuff. So that's where I met Stuart. Actually, when we first got there, I met him inside, and I was like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure you're from Florence. Like, I'm from just down the road from there, Huntsville." And then we got to talking and stuff. So but yeah, that was such a cool experience, just getting to talk to all the pros and stuff, and just seeing how they go about their days and how good they are and stuff like that. Felt like we learned a lot, actually.
Yeah, how helpful were they in those conversations, and what were some of the questions maybe you asked about that process?
Yeah, they were definitely very like supportive and stuff, even though they were playing practice rounds and trying to prep and all that stuff. Um they brought us in with open arms and were super kind and stuff. But I think a lot of the questions were just like, I mean, a big one for me, I like to ask, the guys that have been very successful is like, what did you have to sacrifice growing up to be able to perform at the highest level and love? Like, what did you have to put to the side and stuff like that? And it's just like, it's little things and they would just say little things like you got to be disciplined and, know that practicing every day and getting 1% better every day is just the most important part of, improving in this game. So,
Yeah, is it really how advantageous is it when somebody like you can pick Stuart Sink's brain about something like that when a lot of people don't have that opportunity?
yeah, 100%. When you're mid conversation and you're, you know, asking them about stuff, and I'm always wondering, like, man, this is unbelievable. It almost feels like the better get better because we get the opportunities to meet the best players in the world and pick their brain and stuff. So, but I those guys are so nice. I'm sure that anybody that wanted to ask them a question, they would answer 100%.
How was playing for Charlie Hoffman?
Charlie's the best. I love Charlie. Um, that was so much fun. He was a great captain.
Yeah.
How did you kind of get hooked up with Craig Bocking, and kind of maybe take us through what a day in the life of Tyler Watts is like?
Yeah, so Craig used to teach out at Burning Tree, and I knew of him. I just knew that he was a coach out there. And at the time, I didn't have a coach or anything. And then Craig moved here to Huntsville at the Ledges, and I think I was 11, maybe 12, and I didn't have a coach or anything. I had never had a coach. And my dad was like, "Hey, do you want to, start maybe going to see Craig, just to have a swing coach because you're starting to get old enough and stuff like that." So just started to go and see him, and been a smooth ride ever since. So,
Did he make any fundamental changes in what you were doing to that point?
yeah, I would say the first month or so with Craig was a little difficult because I'd never had a coach or anything, and me and Craig are very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. We focus a lot on weight distribution. So, um, the first month or so when I was with him, he was focusing on that with me, and that was something that was kind of difficult for me because I was so young. I was leaning back trying to lift the ball up in the air instead of using the ground and stuff. So that took a while to get used to, and then finally implemented it the right way and started hitting the ball really well.
As you mentioned you started working with him when you were 11 or 12. As your body has changed and your physique, how is that kind of translated into what he's trying to teach you, and has it been a difficult transition?
Um, it hasn't been very difficult at all. I mean, I think Craig has been great with me. He understands how I need to swing the golf club or my body to prevent injury and to maximize my performance too. I think had a couple of years ago, I had an incident where my back got a little messed up, and so me and him talked about it and kind of changed my swing up a little bit because I was getting to the point where I couldn't swing from a side bend position. So I just got more upright through the ball and changed my swing a little bit and started playing some good golf again.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I've known Craig for a long time. I remember when Craig was working at the shop at Blackberry Trail before he became the swing guru. It's kind of neat to see him how his career has evolved in the teaching aspect.
Hmm.
But take us through a day in your life as far as your practice routine. How much do you play as opposed to practice?
Yeah. So a day in the life right now. I would say a day in my life changes throughout the year depending on my schedule, but right now it would be just wake up around 8:30, get up, do some school, do my school for the day, eat breakfast, and then head to the course and practice for 2 or 3 hours. And if I want to go play after that, I'll go play, and then if I'm a little tired, I'll maybe come back and rest because I'm still kind of recovering from the summer. Actually, to be honest, I played probably a little bit too much golf this summer, and so rest has been a key part of my little downtime right now. But if I feel like playing, I'll go and play, and then that's pretty much my day. I'll eat dinner after that and relax.
Do you have a specific routine like today I'm going to go, hit wedges, work short game, and then maybe tomorrow it's more run through the irons or whatnot, or is it just kind of whatever you feel like that day?
Honestly, it's really just kind of however I feel. I tend to do a lot of the same stuff every day because if I'm just practicing, I won't practice for too long. Like I'll do everything. I'll putt for an hour, I'll chip for an hour, and then I'll hit for. I don't really like to hit too much, so I'll maybe just hit for like 20, 30 minutes. But I mean, that's really all I'll do when I practice. I don't do like I don't know. I don't specify one day to one thing or anything
Mm.
like that.
So, how often do you and Craig get together and work?
I would say once a month.
What are you guys working on right now?
Right now, I'm trying to make sure I don't spin out at the top of my golf swing, causing me to swipe across the ball and maybe hit some pull draws or fanny cuts. So I'm just trying to get more consistent with my delivery.
Hmm.
I
What would you
know.
say?
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm just going to say, what would you say is the strength of your game right now?
Strength. I really feel like it's my chipping. Honestly, I've been working really hard on my chipping. I've been thankful enough, with the guys up at Tennessee. Scott Stallings is very involved in the program, and he's a
Hmm.
good tour pro and really good chipper of the golf ball, and he's been helping me out. And I've been working really, really hard on my chipping, and it's starting to pay off a lot.
Scott's a terrific guy too. He's
Yeah.
not just a great player; he's a really good person and personable and that. So this past summer, you had an opportunity to try to qualify for the Myrtle Beach PGA Tour stop. Played with a bunch of content creators. how did that evolve, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, that was a pretty cool experience for sure. It felt like we were just playing in a YouTube video that day instead of for a PGA Tour spot. But it was pretty kick back, relaxed kind of thing. It wasn't too uptight, and it was just a lot of fun. We got to play. I got to play with some pretty cool people, and it was just a lot of fun.
Missed by one or two, right?
Yeah, one or two. I missed like a 2-footer on the last hole, but it's what.
Mm.
What's your fall schedule kind of looking like, or the winter as it's coming up?
Yeah, so I like to say that I'm all in off season right now. Tournaments have died down a lot. I didn't play at all this month, and I'm playing one tournament in November, and then I won't play any in December. So get a lot of time off until the 1st of January, and then kind of start to pick back up again in February.
Where are you going in November?
I'm going to San Antonio for the Rolex Tournament of Champions.
That's
How does how do you pick and choose what tournaments? I'm assuming everybody wants you to play in their tournaments now, and so how do you pick and choose what your schedule is going to be like and where you go play?
It's a great question. I think it's you have to balance out. For me, I have to balance out what I want to do between amateur and junior golf. Um, I try and play as much amateur golf as possible to like prepare me for the next stage in college and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll play during the summer. I'll really only play the U.S. Junior um, as a junior tournament, and then I feel like during the spring and fall, I'll play some more junior golf than I do amateur golf.
Are you just getting flooded with a lot of requests to play in various tournaments?
Yeah, I get invited to play in a lot of tournaments, which I'm very thankful for. But I just literally can't play in all of them. So, um, you just have to pick and choose which ones. And sometimes it's very difficult to pick between two tournaments or maybe three. But I just try and pick what is gonna just make me better at the end of the day. That's really all it is.
How close do you kind of get, like with somebody like Blades Brown up in Nashville? He played in Q school actually. Just so do you talk to him about stuff like that very much?
Yeah, me and Blades are best friends. We talk all the time, and it's funny that you say that. Well, I was on the phone with him a lot while he was down there in Q school, just kind of wondering what he was doing and how he was playing. And I think Blades has been through the process like much more than I have. I mean, he's doing Q school, he's played in a tour event and stuff, and it's been fun to just see him go through that process. I mean, I've been calling him. He was in the tour event. I'm calling him every day and talking to him like, how is it out there and stuff. So he's definitely having a lot of fun doing it, and he's learning a lot too. So I mean, it's been helpful that I can call him and talk to him, and he can tell me what he's learning, stuff like that.
It's unfortunate that Huntsville lost the Corn Ferry event because I'm sure you'd have been a shoe in for a sponsor's invite for that. Maybe it'll come
Yeah,
back.
yeah. That was a good event actually. The Legends did a pretty good job up there. Yeah, I think I maybe would have could have got in this year, but I think they had problems with if somebody wanted to host it and stuff, so it just
Yeah.
didn't work out. But yeah, it was definitely a pretty cool event when it was up there.
mm-hmm.
When we haven't even touched on your U.S. Junior Am run to the finals. What was that like? And getting that far. And I'm sure you're familiar with, you probably know Nick Dunlop, and he won that event. What was that like? And were you trying to really push through to do the same thing he did?
Yeah, actually, so when Nick won, I was watching, and it was pretty cool to see. So I definitely kind of had that in the back of my mind, kind of being from Huntsville, Alabama as well, and just be cool to just a few years later do the same thing. But played a lot of golf that week, so that was tiring. But played a lot of good golf too, so that was inspiring as well. So
You mentioned that you may have played a little too much this past summer. Is that something you're going to really kind of take with you going forward to make sure you're not overdoing it with your schedule?
yeah, I think I might die down the tournaments, but if not, I will work on my body to be able to make sure I am physically prepared to go through the same thing that I did this summer.
Yeah, what kind of fitness routine do you have, if any?
Um, I don't have much right now. That's something that like I am going to get into with starting very soon. This off season is something that that's something that I'm gonna improve is my body. And actually, I was just in Dallas for the for a USA camp with our national development team, and we had some people look at my body and stuff and told me that my pelvis is just an area that I need to work on, that would help me perform on the golf course and just perform physically and feel better. So that's definitely something that I'm going to start working on.
Do you worry about your nutrition at all? I mean, are you a big cheeseburger 3 days a week guy, or?
I don't eat very well, but I look at it. I mean, I'll look at it every now and then, but I have a very um, fast metabolism and stuff like that. So I mean, I can eat pretty much whatever I want right now, and
Yeah,
I
enjoy it while you can.
Yeah.
can. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna enjoy it while I can.
One of the things that college golf has changed since when I was there is that in addition to the facilities is the nutrition and training, um, lifting weights and stretching and exercises. I think that it's a result of the the way that the people are taking golf more as the golfers more of as an athlete than they used to. The distances that you young guys hit the ball these days is just a testament to that as well. Um, but yeah, I think you'll find that the guys at Tennessee will do a really good job of helping you not only physically but with your nutrition.
100%. Yeah, they have a new fitness facility at their own golf facility, and it's super nice. They have team workouts most mornings, and they have a really good trainer, and they do a good job.
Mm.
I'm do it.
In that same vein, why don't you take us through your bag? What are you playing with, and what your stock yardages are, and kind of
Yeah.
put us to shame on how far you're hitting your shots.
So my all my clubs are tailor made, other than my putter. I like to use a Scotty Cameron. I've used one my whole life, so it's just something that I'm comfortable with. And but for the rest, tailor made throughout the bag. So milled grind 4 wedges, tailor made P770 irons, pitching wedge through 4 iron, and then I have a P790 3 iron, and then QI10 5 wood 3 wood and driver. So I technically have 15 clubs, but I decide between a 3 iron or 5 wood each week, depending on like what kind of shots I'm gonna play at the course and stuff like that, and how the course layout is. So, but yeah, that's all the clubs in my bag, and then I play a TP5X golf ball. And then for stock yardages, 58 degree is 106. 54 degree is 120. 50 degree is 132. Pitching wedge is 141. 9 iron 157. 8 iron is 170. 7 iron is 187. 6 iron is 200. 5 iron is 212, and 4 iron is 224.
Driver?
And then, yeah, okay. So 3-iron would be 235 to 240, like anywhere in that range. And then 5-wood is 250. 3-wood is 260, 265. And then my driver carry is probably right 300.
That's exactly what Chris's stock yardages are.
Yeah, on computer golf.
Pump the elevation up.
Yeah, of course.
That's so. Where do you feel like you generate your power from in your swing?
Yeah, I use the ground really efficiently right now. I only weigh 130 pounds, but I can get a lot of distance speed out of the ball. And it's because I use the ground the right way, which Craig has actually been a big help in that. He understands how that I use the ground and how I'm supposed to use it, and if I use it properly when I'm swinging it well, I'm definitely a pretty long hitter for only weighing 130 pounds. So
Can you kind of explain what using the ground means to in layman's terms?
yeah, so if you apply pressure, it'll come back. I think that's a Newton law. I'm not the brightest, but um, if you push really hard into the ground, it has to react back. So it's like jumping off the ground. I jump off the ground with my front foot, so it's just adding. I don't really know how it works. I just know that I push into the ground and then come off of it, and that creates a lot of speed and power off the ground with driver. With irons, kind of the opposite. I don't want to jump at all. I'm trying to take that away and then just push into the ground really hard and compress the ball, and that's how you get that like solid contact and piercing flight through the wind and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I try and hit my irons better. But with driver, jumping off the ground is how I can create some power.
That's a very good explanation for folks who don't really grasp that concept. Appreciate you going into that.
Sure.
So, perfect world. What's Tyler Watt's plan going forward? When do we see you on the PGA Tour?
That's a great question.
And I'm just going out on a limb saying that's kind of your goal.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it's hard for me to say because there's so many opportunities that we can get nowadays. And we have PGA Tour U with the college stuff, and then people are getting exemptions all the time, even while they're in high school now. So I think in a perfect world for me, I would love to be able to go to college and develop as a player. So I think a perfect world for me would be maybe getting some experience while I'm still a senior in high school, maybe just seeing what it's like out there, maybe just once or twice, get an exemption and just see what it's like. And then when I get to college, I would say play for hopefully just use the PGA Tour U accelerated stuff and just play for maybe 2 or 3 years and play some really good golf and get my card. If not, go for 4 years and use the just PGA Tour University rankings, and then get some. If I get lucky, end up number one in that, and you get your tour card. But if not, get some Corn Ferry status and go through the process like that. I think that's a perfect world for me.
I think that's a good plan, Tyler. I think that's not only a good plan, it's a plan that's very viable.
I was going to do just a couple of quick hits with you.
Yeah.
Favorite course?
I have two, so I'm just gonna say both. Naples National and Sage Valley.
No. Favorite social media follow? Best social media follow? Bryson?
Like who follows me or who I follow?
Who you follow?
Oh, God, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe Bryson. He's starting to get pretty famous with the YouTube stuff. So
I was just going to assume you being 16, that it would have been Paige Sporanic, but we'll leave that. Last time you paid a greens fee?
Probably like a month ago or so. I just went out with my buddies to, I think it was Gunner's Landing, just out there to mess around, and it wasn't anything like crazy. I mean, it was. I think we got like a high school junior rate or something. Maybe it was like $30, but yeah, I mean, I'll always, no matter what, I'll always pay a greens fee. I'm not gonna, show up. I don't care how big I am or anything. I'm not gonna show up and say, "Hey, this is who I am. Can I play for free?" I'm gonna pay to play. I mean, I feel like it's the right thing.
Well, good for you.
Lee Hodges couldn't remember the last time he paid a greens fee when we had him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like if you're a tour pro, maybe you're not paying greens fees too much. You're, a member at a place, and then you're traveling and playing all the time. So,
Um, favorite guy to play with that you've played with?
I like playing with. I played with David Ford a couple of times in some Elite Am series events and stuff like that, and he's a really great guy to play with. I think I've played with him in 3 events, maybe. And it's always so much fun playing with David.
Biggest pet peeve on the golf course?
I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty laid back. I don't know.
Slow
Yes,
play?
maybe when. Well, yeah, of course, slow play. I don't like slow play. Yeah, maybe slow play. That'd probably be the best answer because nobody likes slow play. So.
Thank you for carving out a few minutes of your day and joining us on the Cart Barn. It's been a pleasure. We will continue to watch your career with great interest, and best of luck to you this coming year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. It's been a treat catching up with you, and good luck down the road. Remember, you got your start on the Cart Barn.
There we go.
So again, we want to thank Tyler Watts for being our guest this week. Had a fascinating conversation with one of the country's fastest rising junior golfers. He's part of a new breed of these teenagers that are just fearless when it comes to playing golf. He hits the ball farther than anybody. He's battle tested, and again, we we look forward to seeing as his career advances. And congratulations to him for committing to play golf at the University of Tennessee. We hope you'll tune back into the Cart Barn podcast. Thanks for listening.